Hello everyone. For a while now I've been saying that I would make several videos going over my top 3 weapons like assault rifles, carbines, LMGs, and the sniper rifles. So here is the first one, my top 3 assault rifles. While watching this, keep in mind that these are my top 3 assault rifles, ARs that I use all the time. These will most likely be the same assault rifles that you might have seen in other top assault rifle lists, but they most likely won't be in the same order because it's just my personal favorites and the ones that I like to use the most in certain situations. So without further ado, here is my top 3 assault rifles. Before starting with number 3, I wanted to give the F2000 an honorable mention because lately I've been using it a lot, and man oh man, it is an amazing gun, especially in close quarter situations. The F2000 has a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 18, and the damage starts to drop off at around 8 meters away. Its mag size is 31 bullets, and its recoil goes up a little bit and to the right and left. So pulling down a little and holding it steady down the middle when firing will help your accuracy. When in close range with the F2000, you can either go full auto or do large burst fire, which will really rip the enemy apart, since this weapon has an RPM, rounds per minute, of 850, which is third best in the assault rifle category, with the AEK Infamous being ahead by 50 and 150 RPM. But once you start shooting at the enemies who are past the 8 to 10 meter range, you really need to dial it back and start firing small bursts, which could be around 2 to 5 bullets at any time, depending on the range. Finally, its reload speed when empty is 3.9 seconds, which is pretty long, and with bullets left, it's 2.7 seconds, which is not that great, especially compared to my top 3 ARs. From those stats, you can clearly see that this is an assault rifle that works really well on maps that either have a lot of close quarter areas or in game modes like Domination, Team Deathmatch, or Rush. But do keep in mind you really need to know how much ammo you have at all times and when a good time to reload is, since it does take a little bit longer, especially in game modes like Team Deathmatch and Domination, since enemies will be coming at you at all times. The attachments that I like to use on this gun are the laser. For the scope, I like the default scope or the coyote sight. For the grip, I like to use the angled grip. And for the barrel, I don't like to use the compensator or the muzzle brake because they take away a lot of accuracy and only give a little bit of the stability back. But I use the angle grip for the grip with the flash hider, which the flash hider does not do anything to your stats. And with that, I keep a good amount of both my accuracy and stability, so it's a better even amount. But depending on your playstyle, you might use something different like the heavy barrel for more long distance, or a suppressor maybe for a more stealthy play style, but I play really aggressive in your face style, so I don't really like to use those attachments. I actually don't use those attachments ever. I don't think I've ever have in Battlefield 4. So these are my ones for guns with high RPM like the F2000. Number 3, the ACE-23. The ACE-23 has a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 18, and the bullet damage starts to drop off at around 8 meters, just like the F2000. Its mag size is 31 bullets, and its recoil goes up a little and to the right, so pulling down a little and pulling to the left when firing will help your accuracy. When in close range with the ACE-23, you can either go full auto or do large burst fire, and since it has a lower RPM of 770 and better overall stability when firing, at long ranges you can do burst fire with around 4 to 5 or 6 bullets every burst. Finally, its reload speed when empty is 3.1 seconds, and with bullets left, it's 2.1 seconds, making it the second best in my top 3 ARs. From those stats, you can really use this gun in any game mode and on any maps, and you won't see really any difference in how effective it is at killing the enemy. This gun is known as the noob gun since it's so easy to use and be good with, but it's definitely a great gun to use when starting out or when you're trying to get better at the things that I talked about in my top 10 ways to get better at Battlefield 4, since you don't really need to worry about the gun since it's really easy to use. This gun definitely reminds me of the M16A3 in Battlefield 3. The attachments that I like to use on this gun are the laser. For the scope, I like the Coyote sight since it gives you the biggest field of view. For the grip, I like to use the stubby grip, and for the barrel, I use the muzzle brake. Since the ACE-23 already has really high accuracy, I can use the muzzle brake to take some accuracy away and have a higher stability to make my shot easier to control. Once again, you can use different attachments depending on your playstyle, but the ACE-23 is an awesome gun for every situation, and it's definitely a must-use if you're just wanting to go out and kick some ass. Number 2, the SCAR-H. The SCAR-H has a max damage of 34 and a minimum damage of 25, and the damage starts to drop off at around 8 meters away. Its mag size is a little bit less, 10 bullets less at 21 bullets, and its recoil goes up a lot and to the right and left a little, so pulling down a little and holding it steady down the middle when firing will help your accuracy. When in close range with the SCAR-H, you can either go full auto or do large or small burst fire since its damage is so high. Also, since it has a lower RPM of 620 and a way higher damage at all ranges, at long ranges you should only be doing fast single shots or small bursts of around 2 to 3 bullets. Finally, its reload speed when empty is 2.4 seconds, and with bullets left, it's only 1.9 seconds, making it the fastest in my top 3 AR list. From those stats, you can once again really use this gun in any game mode and on any maps, because even though it doesn't have the best RPM at 620, the damage is so high that in both close and long range firefights, you can easily take out your enemy extremely fast and with only a few bullets, and even faster if you get a headshot. This gun is actually slowly being taken out of competitive play because it's so powerful that once a few or all the players on one team are using it, the other team has to start using it to be able to compete. The attachments that I use with the SCAR-H are the laser. For the scope, I like to use the Coyote sight. For the grip, I like to use the angle grip to give me more stability, and for the barrel I use the flash hider because once again the compensator and the muzzle brake would take away too much accuracy and gives little stability back for it to be worth it. Once again, you can use different attachments depending on your playstyle, but the SCAR-H will rip any enemy apart in seconds in any situation, and overall I would say this is the best gun in the game, but as of now, it's not my favorite and it's not my number 1 assault rifle. And the number 1 assault rifle on my top 3 list is the AEK-971. The AEK has a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 18, and the damage starts to drop off at around 8 meters away. Its mag size is 31 bullets and its recoil goes up and to the right, so pulling down a little and pulling left when firing will help your accuracy. When in close range with the AEK, you can either go full auto or do large burst fire, but when it's with its really high RPM of 900, when going full auto you really need to pull down pretty hard to counter the recoil and have good accuracy. At mid-range you should be doing small bursts of 3 to 4 bullets, and at long range you should either do tiny bursts of 2 to 3 bullets or just don't shoot at all and just get closer. And the same goes for the F2000. Finally, its reload speed when empty is 3.6 seconds, which is pretty long, and with bullets left it's 2.3 seconds, making it pretty fast when reloading with bullets. But you are definitely gonna need to find good cover if you do a full reload by accident. From those stats, the AEK-971 can be used in any game mode and on any map, but you will definitely want to run in and get closer to the enemy on large open maps or when you're playing Conquest, because like the F2000, killing at distance can be difficult. The attachments that I like to use on this gun are the laser. For the scope, I like the Coyote sight or the Cobra. For the grip, I like to use the angle grip to give me more stability, and for the barrel, once again, I use the flash hider instead of the compensator or muzzle brake, which I use on a lot of other weapons, because those take away too much accuracy and it gives little stability back for it to be worth it. Finally, though the AEK doesn't have the best accuracy and stability because of its high RPM, and its reload isn't the best, especially when doing a full reload, there is just something about this gun, once you really get used to it, that keeps me coming back. At the beginning, it can be hard to use, but once you've got it down, you can easily rip through many enemies in seconds and reload fast enough to keep going. Overall, I would suggest using all these weapons and see which you like the most or you feel most comfortable with while playing Battlefield. I play competitive, so I like to use the same guns over and over to really fine-tune my aim and reloading and all that jazz. So I haven't really tried that many guns other than these, unless I pick them up off a dead body. So I'm sure you guys might have another AR that you might feel more comfortable with, but I guarantee if you use any of these weapons long enough to get used to how the recoil works, you will start destroying people. Good luck if you do use any of these for the first time. Be patient, and last but not least, have fun. Thanks for listening and watching. The next top 3 will be up in 2 to 3 days, so look out for that. See you on the battlefield, boys.